think we found him.
Look at his eyes. Something's not right.
We are here to help. But first, I need you to lay down your weapon.
Gentlemen, welcome to Dubai.
Whether it be in Dubai or Madripoor, Logan is still gonna kick some ass no matter where he's located. But regardless, welcome back, true believers and all you uncanny X-Men fans out there, to another very exciting Marvel's Wolverine related video. Now, while it has been quite some time since our last official update for Marvel's Wolverine, especially knowing that the game will likely not release until sometime after Marvel's Spider-Man 2 comes out in 2023, that doesn't mean that there aren't still very exciting things happening within Insomniac's studio. Because even though we do have a rather long way to go until Marvel's Wolverine finally releases, the fans who are immensely hyped for the game will be delighted to know that there are some pretty prominent names who are leading the project as it currently stands. Primarily in recent promotions within Insomniac's studio, it was confirmed that Walt Williams, who was previously the critically acclaimed narrative writer for Spec Ops: The Line, which in case you haven't played that game, I highly recommend that you do before you play Marvel's Wolverine, has recently been promoted as the narrative director for Wolverine PS5. Now, it was already previously confirmed by the game's main creative director of Brian Horton, where he did indicate that Marvel's Wolverine is going to have a very mature tone in comparison to what we saw with Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. And alongside of this, it was also highlighted by one of the main designers at Insomniac Games that Wolverine is going to essentially include gore within its main combat system, pretty much pointing out that there is going to be slashes, gashes, gouges, and essentially dismemberment one way or another within this game, which in all likelihood means that Marvel's Wolverine is going to be an M-rated game, which I for one could not be more excited for, especially now knowing that Walt Williams is the narrative director for this entire project. And if handled properly, Marvel's Wolverine might just end up being the darkest Marvel game to ever release. Now, if you don't know exactly why Walt Williams becoming the narrative director for Wolverine PS5 is so important in the grand scheme of things, I am going to highlight this Game Rant article, which does put things into a much better perspective. Prior to joining Insomniac's Wolverine team, Walt Williams was the lead writer for EA's 2017 release of Star Wars Battlefront 2, which garnered some praise as the reboot's first full-length campaign storyline. However, Williams' most impactful piece of writing comes from 2012's Spec Ops: The Line, a third-person shooter that has garnered a cult following for its gritty storyline and ruminations about the nature of modern warfare. In 2021, Williams joined Insomniac Games as a lead writer on Marvel's Wolverine, before being promoted to a more significant role earlier this week. For any of you out there who may have not yet played Spec Ops, is that it is actually considered one of the darkest video games to have ever released. Now, in terms of how the game was structured, it didn't necessarily stand out all that much in comparison to the other third-person shooters that were releasing at the time. But as you might have expected, is that the biggest thing that did stand out for Spec Ops is its overarching storyline, where it managed to feature a lot of surprises along with extremely disturbing moments that showcased exactly how much of an anti-war game Spec Ops truly was, and fully displayed exactly what happens to good people when placed in a bad situation. And knowing that same amount of narrative depth is going to be completely applied to a character like Wolverine makes me beyond hyped.
Instead of making more of an action-based, in-your-face set-piece kind of a game, really having it go into the narrative moments and like watch these characters grow and break down and see where they start and where they end up.
So, nobody wants to see characters break down, do they? Or is that what you're banking
Well, no,
on?
we actually think that they do. You see, when you think about the other types of art that we enjoy, our music, our movies, our books, we spend thousands of dollars, even more, a year on art that makes us feel bad, makes us sad, makes us angry. We use our art to safely explore our emotions. And with video games, we kind of felt like up to this point we were just letting it kind of stay at either hero fantasy or I'm a scared little Japanese girl. And we feel that people are ready to explore more emotions within their video games, to maybe play a game that doesn't make them feel totally comfortable.
Right.
It was a risky move. And I would be lying if I didn't say every 3 months we sat down around a conference table and someone said, are we really sure that someone wants to play a game like this? And ultimately, we're betting on that gamers are ready for a more mature, personal look into war. And frankly, I think when you look at games that are coming out now, and the type of narratives that they're telling, it's fairly obvious that people are ready to go deeper into their characters.
And to wrap up the article in its entirety, for now, fans can only speculate what Williams' new role could mean for the story elements of Marvel's Wolverine. But with a writer like Williams, who tends to create such personal and thought-provoking stories as one of the heads of the writing team, it could indicate that Marvel's ill-tempered hero has a gritty journey ahead of him. Wolverine has never been much of a cheerful character within the Marvel Universe, so it may only seem fitting that a writer with a history of working on games like Spec Ops The Line and BioShock is now a spearhead in the writing effort for Marvel's Wolverine. Which obviously, besides the gameplay and how Wolverine's claws are going to operate during combat scenarios, the story itself is the most interesting element that I'm personally looking forward to within this game. And while we have to wait even longer until this game releases, I definitely think that the wait will be worth it. And with all that said, everybody, that's the video that I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of Walt Williams being promoted as the narrative director for Marvel's Wolverine? And which element about the game are you looking forward to the most? Is it the story, the combat, the graphics, or anything else? Let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, and for more Marvel's Wolverine videos like this in the future, definitely be sure to play Spec Ops The Line if you haven't already. And until next time, true believers, thank you all so much for watching, and peace out.